Let's rock and roll. So there we go. So for the first part of the meeting, and I will say, beautiful California, nice little beach out there, no big deal. It's like I don't know, 65. Okay, anyway. So I'm enjoying this while you guys are all roasting to death. No big deal. So now that we got that out of the way, so today's class is going to be on basically how can we improve our websites and how can we really get ourselves to a point where we're really doing the right thing for our clients. We're providing them the best user experience. We're tackling all these key points that consumers have come to expect now. So it's I hate to say it this way, but long gone are the days where an idle website is sufficient to do business. It's just that's not the way that this works anymore. Unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to look at it, with COVID, everybody's been thrust online. Everybody has been, forced in order to find businesses and find out information about businesses. We've been forced to go online. If I want to see the hours of operation, if I want to know, hell, if they're even still in business, there's so much to be had, and unfortunately, that's the best place. Um, you know, it was funny. I just had a conversation with an old client the other day, and most of you guys know that I came from the Yellow Page business, so that's where I got started in the marketing gig. And again, awesome career. I loved every minute of it. Worked for a great company, and it really came down to when as we were having this conversation, he's like, I wasn't able to update my ad, or I wasn't able to do this, or like I want to add a COVID statement, I want to do this. And even something as simple as the Yellow Pages just can't be updated like that. It's a once a year thing. And so you know the conversation really took a kind of a turn into the digital world and all of the things that need to be done to provide a good user experience. And it was that kind of awe-dropping moment for him, like, ah, that's why I need somebody like you, which makes sense. But from a business perspective, there are little things that you can do to create a great user experience. There's little things that we can make sure that we implement on our websites to create that good user experience. So we're going to go through those today. So I'm going to share my screen here, and I'm going to show you guys a couple of different websites, and we're going to start off with some of the basics here. And you guys can all do this on your own. So give me 2 seconds here. First one we are going to share is this screen, which is not this. I want this. So this right here is Google Page Speed Insights. So with this kind of ushering in of the digital age, one of the things that Google's working on, and one of the big things with their algorithm, is site speed. Google knows, and everybody can agree with this, that your site speed is one of the most important factors. In fact, Google will penalize you if it's not where it needs to be. Now, nice part is, again, we can play around with this. Now, we just redesigned, actually, I'm redesigning mine right now. So I will use myself as the guinea pig here. And I can already tell you, it's going to come up really slow. And I want you to see that because there are certain elements that I want to point out in this that I think will honestly really help you understand how this system works. So Page Speed Insights, just go to Google. I have it obviously bookmarked since I do it constantly, but what you need to do is just type in Page Speed Insights. It'll come up. It's a Google developer site. It's free, doesn't cost any money, and you can run your site through it. Now, I'm on a little, I want to say a slower connection, so bear with this a little bit. So it doesn't usually take this long to run. There you go. There's why. But again, there are certain things that come up, and you'll notice with our site, mobile being, again, a mobile first index from Google, they put a lot of emphasis on this. So when you look at this, as we redesign our site, Google will literally tell you what's important. What are they looking at? So why is this all relevant? Well, we know a fast site provides clients with a good user experience. And also Google will reward you by helping you rank higher. So, or at least not penalizing you for that matter. So when we look at this right here, we see that my site is in the penalty right now, 0 to 49. Now, again, normally it ranks in the 50s, but we've just launched a bunch of updates and we need to go in and optimize those. So when you go from here, once you get into the 50 to 89, this is where the vast majority of sites around the internet live. So this is what we need to strive to. Now, again, 90 to 100, you're like rock star status. I wouldn't say it's extremely hard to get there. It's just more difficult. And you have to find a balance between aesthetics on a site and functionality. And sometimes, again, things that are, let's just say a little more creative. You got that video running in the background. You got that awesome slider that shoots unicorns across the screen and stuff like that. Those things can bog down sites. And again, this is where I always tell my clients, hey, let's find a balance in this. Let's find, okay, maybe we don't have unicorns. Maybe we just settle for some glitter. I don't know. So again, there's a lot of different options, but the goal is, from an optimization standpoint, we want to get back up into the 50s, at least at a minimum. Again, rockstar status, 90s to 100. As we scroll down here, Google, as transparent or non-transparent as they are, however you want to look at this, they do give us a little bit of a guide in terms of what we're looking for. Times to interactive, first contentful paint, speed index, all these fun things. And what you can do is scroll down here a little bit more, and what you're going to see is Google's experience. Now, this is on mobile, and you can see what's going on here. Again, taking too long to load. Oh my goodness, what's happening? Boom, boom, boom. And they eventually decide, here's where we're at. So these are the things that Google's going to tell me that I need to fix in order to improve the site speed. And they even tell you how many seconds it's going to take. We know, statistically speaking, consumers have a very short attention span. So if we can get this improved to where, again, maybe we're under that 3-second mark, we're going to be golden. That's the ultimate goal. And so a lot of this stuff, again, might be gibberish to most people. To me, obviously, it's meaningful. JavaScript, inline CSS is our coding style that we use. Reduce unused CSS. So again, because it's a new page, you're going to see a lot of that stuff in there, which is normal. And reduce initial server response time. So again, this is something with our host, we need to contact our hosting provider and say, hey, we got a little bit of a lag. And sometimes if you're on a shared server, so like if you're with GoDaddy, you're in any one of those, type of shared environments, sometimes you can be placed on servers that are bogged down with millions of other websites. And if those are high performing websites, that might ultimately, you got to share that bandwidth. And so you can have some problems. So this does happen from time to time too. Usually a simple phone call fixes that. Hey, you know what? I just ran a page speed insight and it's showing my server response times really lagging. Is that something you can help with? They're either going to tell you yes or no, and then you go from there. Page redirects, again, we got a lot of links on our homepage there. So again, page redirects would be something we need to look at, so on and so forth. So you can go through this. And the nice part is, again, Google's fairly transparent in what they're asking you to fix and how much time that'll save you. And so for me as a web developer and as an SEO specialist, I go through these line by line and figure out what elements can I affect and what can't I? Because again, some stuff we might just say, nothing we can do about it, and that's okay. But as many of these as we can fix, that's what ultimately is going to improve our client's experience. So if we're trying to drive traffic to our website, we have to first start by making sure that we're providing that best user experience. And it's going to start here with page speed insights. Again, now that's mobile. If you click on desktop right up here, same thing, you're going to see desktop. And then nice part is, oftentimes we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. And whatever we fix on mobile, we'll also fix on desktop simultaneously. So kind of cool. If you really want to get fancy, there's the pups. So gotta love them. Hold on real quick. Dog next door. So we'll go back to this here. So if you really want to be a pro, you can come down here. There's other ones that you can use to analyze your site, but I think you guys get the gist of it, that page speed is going to be a big, big factor moving forward. We want nimble, quick, and efficient sites. That's going to be the goal. Pro tip, I will tell you this. Landing pages have never been more important, okay? And so I'll give you an example. I'll give you a little chiropractor that we do some work for here. Now, this is something, just to kind of give you guys an example. This is their main site. This is Springback Chiropractic. Again, you can go through this as it loads. And again, we have a slower connection, so I apologize. But
you might want to change your screen, Chris. Sorry.
Oh, not showing up.
Yeah, it's not showing up.
Let's do this. There we go. How about that?
There we go. Yes, perfect.
So this is their main site. And so from a pay-per-click standpoint, if I'm running paid ads, I want to make sure that our ads are nimble and efficient. And the way that we're going to do that is we might not run directly to the home page. What we might do is create a landing page that doesn't have all this nonsense. It's a little more focused, a little more dynamic, if you will. And so on this, we created a little landing page for Spring Back Cairo AZ. And again, much more focused, much more dynamic, focusing on a lot of videos, so on and so forth. And again, the different conditions. So this is just an idea of what you guys can do to create a better user experience. So it doesn't all have to fall on the websites. So hold on real quick. I need to go handle a puppy. There we go. Little pup just doesn't know. Anyway, so let's go ahead and move on. We're going to go on to a couple other things here. So page speed, going on to landing pages will oftentimes save us some time. We can be very nimble, very efficient with this. So just, again, a couple of ideas. The other thing that we want to talk about here is being very specific in our message. So when we talk about driving traffic to a website, when we talk about, you know, what we want to focus on and what we want to bring to the table, again, the biggest thing that we can talk about, if you will, from a user experience thing is we want to take people on a journey. And this is oftentimes where a lot of websites fail, truth be told. What happens is this. So when a client comes to the website, or, you know, somebody, a potential client, let's just say that, comes to a website and they look at this, and let's say they're going to a plumbing website. And, you know, we're talking about all this nonsense that's not really relative to them. And they're really not getting that great user experience. They're going to bounce off. They're not going to engage with the site. So again, we talk about, you know, driving traffic to the website as being the point of this class, but a lot of it is about retention of existing clients. And oftentimes that provides that boost that we need in order to see results or better results from our site. So take clients on a journey. The best thing that I can give advice on here is, as we go through sites, video tells everything. Video is fantastic. Now, caveat to that is it's only going to resonate with a certain number of people. Okay, so video isn't everything. Video doesn't, you know, not everybody's going to take time to actually watch a video, but it really does tell the tale. I'm a huge fan of having both. I really like to pair videos with content. And again, that way, the people that really want to watch a video, typically younger demographics, they're going to connect with those videos a lot more. We have that option there. And for other demographics that, you know, prefer to read or get their information that way, fantastic. We have that option for them. So again, best of both worlds. Pro tip on this is going to be with websites. Again, you want to make sure that videos, you try to avoid uploading those direct to your website. We don't want to do that. The reason being is, again, when we talk about page speed, that's really going to bog things down. What we want to do is we want to publish to YouTube, and then we want to embed the YouTube page in here. Again, think about it common sense wise. Google loves YouTube. Google owns YouTube. Google will reward that success. Again, no penalties for that. So again, lots of great stuff there. So I would encourage video, publish to YouTube, embed YouTube video on websites. Most builders nowadays, even the GoDaddies, the Wixes, web.com, doesn't really matter who it is, most of them have an automatic tool for this, which makes it super easy. Or if you're on WordPress like this, again, even easier. So really a non-issue. As we scroll down, we want to be direct. Again, when we talk about taking clients or potential clients on a journey, we want to walk through and we want to go, you know, basically step by step. Bold, you know, well-crafted statements. Again, we're preparing, in this instance, it's Stride Point High School. So preparing students for a successful future. Again, dynamic statement inspires you to want to read more about that, or at least in theory. We talk about the different options for school there. Great. We come down here to the accreditation. So that's a validation point here. So we're telling potential clients about, again, how, you know, or why they should do business with us here. Now, this is an accreditation. Most businesses, you might have the Better Business Bureau. You might be a member of the Chamber of Commerce. Again, those are all accolades that you really need to take advantage of because they're badges of trust. And, you know, again, it's what's going to set you apart from the crowd. Having a little Chamber of Commerce badge down here, BBB, you know, again, anything like that will ultimately create a much better user experience, and you'll see higher conversion rates. As we scroll down, again, we're reinforcing points. So online, a nice engagement feature. Again, be careful with stuff like this because this can bog down sites. Again, back to accredited curriculum. So again, we're revalidating that point. And then again, call to enroll, success stories, so on and so forth. So every website is going to take its own journey, but you can more or less see how we're taking them on this and what we're doing for that. Again, really focusing on the graduation, the future, accredited curriculum, so on and so forth. So that's just this site. And what I would encourage you to do is take a holistic look at your own site, and that way you can determine, I mean, are we just info dumping on people? Are we just vomiting information at people? Because that's not always going to provide that best user experience. Or are we actually telling a story? And that's something, again, the difference between the two is a story is something that compels people to want to read more. I think as small businesses, we all fail to leverage, many of us fail to leverage some of our best strengths, and that is we're small businesses. Everybody seems to want to appear bigger than they actually are, but believe it or not, consumers really do want to connect with that small business. They want to do, statistically speaking, people want to do business with small businesses. So that's really an accolade for us. So really talking about that, that family atmosphere, talking about, why you guys got into the business. I mean, there's so many things that can come from that. And I really encourage you to leverage it. Talk about your staff, I mean, these are huge things. I mean, I have 12 employees now. I mean, they all come from our community. I'm pretty proud of that as a small business owner that, I'm feeding 12 families here. That's a huge thing for us. So, I think it's something to be proud of. Again, we don't have to go that, bolsterous and say something like that. But, again, featuring our staff, giving that the attention it deserves, I think is a good thing. The concept that we use for that is called humanizing the brand. So again, it's going to create a great user experience, something that somebody can connect with. The other one too, and this is again a lead generation point, is going to be make sure that you, again, for all the charity work, the nonprofits that you work with, all that stuff, make sure you leverage that. Again, back to humanizing the brand. As small business owners, we give so much back, and this is an opportunity for us to feature that and to, again, some people have a hard time with it because they don't want to appear arrogant or they don't want to appear like, they're doing it for the recognition. But me as the marketing guy, I can tell you, I absolutely want to leverage that for my clients. I want to make sure that that stuff is featured and that that stuff is obviously front and center for a potential client. We have it on our site right now. It's towards the bottom. Again, we feature, we have 4 different charities that we support, which is the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, Rotary, SCORE, and the Humane Society. And then we also pick a charity of the quarter to donate a portion of our proceeds to as our kind of give back. And our employees get to choose that program, which is really cool. So it's a fun way to engage your employees as well. So above and beyond that, we've talked a lot about user experience. And again, I focus on that up front because to me, I can drive as many leads as a client wants. You can drive as many leads to your website as you want. But if they don't get a great user experience, why do we do it? We want to make sure that we retain and convert as many people as possible. So to me, it starts there. From the lead generation side of things, just a couple quick little tips on this. So I want to make sure that we're detailed in this. On our website, if you ever, head over there, I have a whole resources page on this, but local listings, it is such an undervalued thing for whatever reason. I can't even begin to tell you why. A lot of business owners, they just don't want to do it. I get it. There's a couple of reasons why I know this is going to happen. So the first local listing that I want you guys to make sure that you've created and you optimize for is going to be Google My Business. This is your gateway to Google. You have to make sure that you're in there. It's up to date. I want to make sure that you have pictures on there. I want your logo on there. I want your hours of operation on there, website on there. Every single thing that can be filled out, you need to make sure you do it. And it's not a set it and forget it thing. You need to make sure that you're updating it constantly. There's a whole thing on what's called Google Posts. And again, I'll share this with you guys here. Let's go up to... Yes, I have way too many Google accounts. Don't judge me. So when you log into your page here, again, this is Google My Business. Now, again, I have all my clients in there, but you're only going to see yours. So as you come in here, ignore all this stuff for right now. Where you want to live is over here on the left-hand side of the page. The first thing, and again, this is strategically placed here by Google for a reason, is posts. You want to make sure that you update this as often as possible. Now, we do it pretty regularly. I want to say at least two to three times a week at a minimum. But again, COVID updates, offers, general updates. So this is just for your average one. Most of the time, you're going to be doing this one right here. If you have an event coming up, new products that you're selling, whatever it is, again, make sure you utilize this. Again, all of these posts are indexed. It's an amazing way to generate traffic to your website. So again, we're referencing or we're referring back to us. Now, going back down here, this little puppy, I tell you, he's got an attitude today. Hold on real quick. Kind of going to work. There we go. So under the info tab here, you can see, again, you want to make sure all of this is filled out as accurately as possible. So business name, pretty common sense there. But more so, we have all of our different secondary groups or groups that we have. So we have a primary, we're a marketing agency. Make sure you add secondaries to this, and as many as that are relative to your business. We don't want to add categories that, again, we have no business being in. Like an example, I don't provide technical support, so we don't have that on there. So again, make sure that it's relative. Sometimes I've looked at people's Google My Business pages and their categories are all wrong. So again, just make sure you're diligent with this, but ultimately this is what you're telling Google that you do and what you want to show up for. Obviously, address is self-explanatory for service area businesses. So again, service areas are important. You want to avoid things like United States. Even though you may do the service the United States, not relative. You want to be as specific as possible. Now, if you're a retail store or an online store, maybe that is the best option for you. So just take a look at that. Hours of operation, again, if you have access, each category will offer different versions of this. So again, you may not have all of these depending on what category you do have. Right here, these, and I really encourage this too. So 4th of July or any special hours or holidays. This is something that Google's asking in advance for now. This is something you probably get an email on. If you haven't, you need to make sure that you're set up the right way. But again, like Labor Day and any holiday that, Google wants to know, are you open or are you not? So back to providing a good user experience. If you're not open, make sure that you list your business as closed. Phone number, pretty self-explanatory there. You can add secondary numbers. So again, add a phone number there. So if you have multiple lines, whatever the case may be, you can do that. Your short list or your handle right here. So just like Twitter, Facebook, any of these other, you have a handle on Google as well. It's your G page link. So your short name, as they call it. We're not going to delete it, but again, you can create yours. I encourage every page to have that. Website, pretty explanatory. Appointment link, same thing. Products, we don't have products, we have services, but if you do have products, you're going to add them there. Services, boom, you're going to see all those there. Let's see here, accolades or attributes of the business. So again, my wife is the co-owner of the business, so we have a woman-led business. Let's see here, accessibility, wheelchair accessible parking lot, which we technically do. I don't know if my building has these, so I'm not going to put them. But anyway, you get the idea. You can go through this, how you're interacting with with clients now. So if you require appointments, masks, temperature checks, all this stuff. So you just want to make sure that this is filled out in its entirety. Open date, this is a relative, well, it's always been there, but how Google uses it has changed recently. So it's kind of a cool thing. And then again, add photos, add as many photos as you can to this. And that will ultimately create a better user experience. Messages, so we're going to skip over a couple. Again, reviews, pretty self-explanatory. Knock out as many as you can. You really, really, really want to encourage clients to leave reviews. That will ultimately help your page rank higher. That will get you better placement and ultimately more leads to your website. Messages is Google's attempt at two-way communication. We know people, for whatever reason, don't want to pick up the phone anymore. So this is a great feature to enable. It'll send a message to you. I would encourage to download the app on your on your phone. So it's a Google My Business app. And again, you can actually, so we have it enabled. This is what it looks like. This is what you're going to want to do. You want to make sure to enable two-way messaging. And then again, product services, you can update those. And pro tip, always make sure you have more than one user on your page. And the reason being is if God forbid something happened and you can't access the page for whatever reason, it doesn't matter. Always have somebody else that can, and make sure that that's a trusted person. So again, a couple of quick little tips there. In addition to Google My Business, you also want to do the same thing for Yelp. Why? Because Yelp is the default reviews engine for Yahoo and Bing. So you want to make sure that you have these profiles out there so that people can leave reviews, people can connect with you no matter where they're searching. Also Siri, so voice search, that's a huge thing nowadays. So Siri uses Yelp as well to produce results. So there's a lot of different reasons why you want to use it. The point is just make sure you get it created there. In addition to that, again, lots of other great resources out there. So Yelp is going to be, Google My Business and Yelp are the most important. We also list a number of others out there that you can use. And the reason why we want you to do these is, again, we don't know where consumers are going to come from, but more importantly, we do know where Google looks. And so with Google, again, they scan a number of different sites for valid information on a business. So this is where, again, websites that you guys have never probably heard of, like local.com, city search, YP or yellowpages.com, dexknows.com. Those are fantastic websites. The only, I guess, issue that, business owners get a little frustrated with is that you got to remember these are for-profit businesses. You create a profile, they're going to hit you up for advertising. It's just the way it is. So you're going to have to endure a little bit of, solicitors, if you will, for a while. Those will calm down over time, but the benefit outweighs the issues that it creates. So make sure you create local listings. If you guys want a list of those, I have a ton of them out there. You guys can go do them all. There are services out there like Yext, Moz. Those are two of them that will do them for you. I tend to prefer the manual way personally. I know we have those options available for clients, but we actually create all manual listings. So again, that's just my preference. You can do what you want with it. Other ones, other lead generators that I would encourage you to do. Again, social, that's a pretty self-explanatory one. Most people are on social media, but how they use it can sometimes maybe need a little tweak here and there. So from a lead generation standpoint, most people are out there pushing like just me stuff all the time. To get the most out of social media, you need to make sure you diversify your posts. So again, we want to build an audience and we want to build engagement. That ultimately leads to traffic to our website, okay? So what happens is you find these businesses out there, or these people out there that all they do is product push. Look at my business, look at my business, look at my product. Did you know this? Blah, blah, blah. And it's all me stuff. Unfortunately, people get tired of that. They're only gonna engage with that for a certain period of time. The best practice that we can share with you, again, from a building website traffic standpoint, is diversify your content. I'm a huge advocate of the chambers. I'm a huge advocate of supporting small businesses. And so, again, we do business with a ton of other small businesses, chamber clients, you name it. And so we do our best to get out there and share that information. If somebody has a product or a special going on, again, I'll share that stuff. My wife will share that stuff. That's what builds goodwill in the community. And again, that's what's going to create engagement. Why? Because, again, their clients will see that because hopefully they're going to reciprocate, right? So then they're going to share something of yours, or they're going to help promote your business. So again, that goodwill really does go a long way to spread your interests as well. So you're helping them, they're helping you, everybody wins. So with social media, again, diversify your posts. It doesn't all have to be me. You can share news articles, you can share other businesses, you can give community events, share nonprofit information. There's a lot of great information out there for you to do, or a lot of great things out there for you to share. And then again, throw the occasional selfless plug in there. Hey, by the way, we're having a sale today. Check it out. Go to this link and, shop away, whatever. You get the idea. Clients always ask, what's the right mix? I'm going to tell you, for me, I like 70-30. I like, 70% about, industry posts and facts and quotes and statistics and little things like that. 30%, sign up for my services. So that's my mix. Yours might be 60-40, 80-20. You have to see what people are engaging with. Like if you're an insurance business, no offense, like there's just not a lot of great stuff there. So there's ways you can do it. But again, for insurance people, we focus a lot on community stuff because again, nobody wants to talk about life insurance. Nobody wants to have those conversations. And it's important to bring up, but that's a tough cookie to crack. Same thing for like attorneys. And, again, nobody wants to hear the horrific, car accident case and, all this stuff. There's a place for it, but it's not a regular thing, if that makes sense. We would want to focus more on the community. What's happening in the community? What are you doing out there? Again, building goodwill, how you're helping people. It's that, I call it a holistic view, or humanizing your brand, back to that again, that really creates those loyal followers. So again, food for thought. A couple other tips, and because I'm trying to wrap this up, I know this stuff gets a little bit dull after a while. A couple other tips out there. MailChimp, if you haven't done it, email marketing, I guess is the better way to put this. If you don't have an email marketing database set up, you're really doing yourself a disservice. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of people have this preconceived notion that, nobody wants to hear from, I get too much spam, this and that. The fact is, most people actually don't get a ton of spam anymore. There's a lot of rules behind that. And again, we do, because I sign up for a ton of mailing lists. But the big picture is, when a client wants to engage and they give you their information, why not have that option available? That's really what I encourage clients to look at, is think about it logically. You're not going out, you're not overstepping your bounds, you're not spamming people, you're not doing all that. What you're doing is you're just asking people to connect with you. And so that's a great way for you to, again, just go through, put it out there. And if somebody signs up, fantastic. They're asking for your information. We did a test sample with a client at one point. It was awesome. It was actually crazy to see what the results were. Again, stone cold client said, nope, nobody ever is going to do this. I don't want anything to do with it. I don't have the time. And I said, hey, let me do it. Let me manage this. I guarantee you results. We did it. It was successful. It worked. In a 60-day trial period, off the top of my head, don't quote me on this, but roughly we had about 1,100 people sign up for this. Now, again, this particular client had a decent following already, and he didn't think anybody would want to receive emails. We put together, again, once a month is all we were sending stuff out. So we had, for 60 days, we had people sign up, and at the end of it, we had a 1% opt-out rate, which is fantastic. So again, give people what they want, offer it, put it out there, encourage people to sign up for your email marketing list. Ultimately, what that's going to do is keep your business top of mind. Another pro tip on this one is that people misuse email marketing a lot. They look at it for product pushing. That's not the intent of email marketing. Again, it's a great way to plug your products, but the other side of email marketing is the same as social. We can share community events. We can build engagement that way. What we can also do with email marketing is we can make sure that, again, we remind people of, we're here, referrals. That's another great option for email marketing. So I always say this, with social and email marketing, those things just keep my business in front of my clients more often, right? So when somebody says, hey, who does your marketing? Or, they hear a side conversation about that, hopefully I'll be the one that they refer over. That's the idea, at least. And the same thing with your business. So there's a lot of different options with that. Last but not least, we'll talk about the chamber relationships, Better Business Bureau. Again, we've talked about those as accolades, but those are great resources to build leads, especially like with the chamber. A lot of people don't go in. We all know that we have a traffic catcher page, right? We all know we have it. I can't tell you the last time. I know, well, I go in actually more often than most people do, but most people that I ask that are members of the chamber, I ask them, hey, when's the last time you updated your traffic catcher page? They look at me with deer in headlights. Like, what is that? So take advantage of the resources that you have available. I will tell you this, the Chamber of Commerce, Better Business Bureau, what many people don't realize is that there's a wonderful backlink that's created between that page and your website. From an SEO perspective, that's, again, a badge of authority to Google. So this is a great way to build traffic to your webpage, not only from a third-party source, but again, to show Google that you're a trusted authority in whatever industry you're in. So take advantage of those things. I know Traffic Catcher, they'll set it up for you, I believe, and Jeanette can correct me, or you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they still set those up for us. But at the same time, don't be afraid to go in there, update it, swap out your pictures, keep it relevant, new services, products, whatever the case is. just make sure you're going in there and you're updating those things. Same thing with the Better Business Bureau and really any of these community organizations that you're a part of. Those are fantastic resources. Pro tip 2 is also with nonprofits. A lot of the times, and again, some of the smaller nonprofits don't have this. Other ones that you donate to, they sometimes will allow you to create profiles, or you can ask them, hey, could you maybe create a blog for me or do something like that? Don't be afraid to ask for that stuff, because again, those backlinks that come from those links or from those features, oh, priceless from an SEO perspective. So again, try to get credit where credit's due. And, again, I know that's sometimes an ask, especially when you're doing things out of the goodness of your heart. And, God bless you for doing that. That's awesome stuff. But I will say, do yourself a favor and just see if that's an option. A lot of the times for donations, a lot of these nonprofits are getting smart and they're starting to offer those services. So if we have any nonprofits on today, that would be a fantastic option for you to start offering people. But at the same time, as business owners, don't be afraid just to ask. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? So I know that's a ton of information today. So hopefully people are still engaged and not asleep. I will just give you a couple more little tools and resources. So for KW Finder, this is a tool that we use to search for keywords. So if you're ever curious about what or how people search, this is a fantastic tool. So when you're writing content, remember, content's king. This right here, we can put in whatever we want. I can put in marketing and I can see how people are searching, what volumes, who my competitors are. So this is free. Now we have a paid version, but this is a free thing. You can do, I think it's like 5 searches or something a day, something like that. So just take a look at that. Other ones that you can use here, I love this one. This one's kind of fun. They change up their website quite a bit, but Answer the Public. This is another cool one. You can put in the search term. Just make sure you switch this over to the United States, but you can put this in and they'll give you tons and tons of different ways people search and what they're asking about online. So, and they put it kind of in a cool little format. I don't know, just something I always click on data. So if you want to see what that looks like, again, these are real questions. You can write content based on these questions that people are asking. Let's see here. What else do we got? Next up, I think that's pretty much about it. I think I would stick there. If you really want to get fancy, you can use a website called SiteLiner to check your own website to see if you have any duplicate content, anything like that going on. That's a great site for that. So, again, like I said, if you need any of these resources, just hit us up. Let me know. I'd be happy to provide them for you. We also have a number of them on our website for design stuff. We use Canva. So all of these links are there. All of this information is also there. So if you have any questions, anything that we can do to help, please don't hesitate to reach out and let us know.